Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in my lab in the wee hours of the morning. It's getting the sun is up now, but I'm out here doing what I do for you. Oh, I got a good one for you today. We going to the book. I got a good lesson for you. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storyteller, story with a message. The message and the story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. Things must be working out for you because you keep coming back for more. And that's what I got for you. Boom. Let's go. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Hopefully, I'm doing that. Right Thinker way of life, and that's how I live. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission for all right thinkers to do just that. Question, excuse me, do you know you? Yeah, I know. Yeah, most people do. No, seriously, do you know you? So here's the question. Are you a person who knows not and knows not that they know not? Makes you foolish. I disregard you. If you're a person who knows not and knows that you know not, you're simple. I will teach you. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who know, are you a person who knows not and believe you know? I know a lot of you. You're dangerous. I'll avoid you. A person, are you a person who know but knows not that you know? That means you're asleep. I can awaken you. What? I'm the spiritual alarm clock. That's what I do. Wake you up with knowledge of self. Are you that person who knows and knows that you know? That means you're wise. Like moi. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. When you raise your level of consciousness, when you become a master of right thinking philosophy, then you will be able to say, I know me. So today we're going to talk about my man. If you know me or follow me, you know that at 11:11 and at 1:11, you get the everything's on the one. We're going to go to that phrase today. I'm going to put it in use today. Right thinkers, let's talk about the supreme being is the one. I've been saying that the whole time. I knew that back then. Didn't give it much thought, but yeah, I just went the concept. But now I can put it all together. I got dots all through my life. Okay. I've been laying dots, put dots. But guess what? I've been connecting them. So now I see the picture. Get the concept? Let's go. We going from the book I deal with, one of my favorites, Glorious Light of Meditation. Okay, but this is getting you closer to God. Meditation does that. You commune with your higher self. I use the phrase higher self over God because God, I like to be a little light on it. Higher self. So, but now we're gonna call it Supreme Being, who He is, the one God. God is the Father of all beings. God is the eternal one and infinite and endures forever. These are all titles and concepts that express God. Understand that? That's where you can understand how to know, respect, and worship God for yourself with what? Knowledge of Him, what He represents, and how He represents. Let's go. God is hidden, aka Amun, Amen. But we respect Him at every prayer. So we know He's there. Got the concept. And no man knows God form. We gave the concept, ancients gave him, this is the form of God according to them. It's not a person, he's not a physical being. He's all a bunch of stuff that we can conceive and put into context so we can recognize him. First of all, let's start with nature. Okay, that's the creation story I start you with. No man has been able to seek out God's likeness. Why? There is none. We created. We mythologically, philosophically, allegorically come up with ideas to proceed to conceive so we can teach about God. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. This is grammar school stuff. I'm a college professor, but I'm going to break it down hopefully as simple as I could so you can grasp, understand it, and then you can follow along. If somebody's leading you somewhere, you don't understand, you ain't going to follow. Well, some of y'all do, but the better part is understanding and knowing what you're doing. It's easier to follow somebody who you understand and respect and know what they're talking about. You follow the right person. You follow a liar, a cheat, and a thief, all you're going to do is be disappointed. That's called suffering. We suffer because we're ignorant. If your discernment don't recognize that kind of person, You got to wear that. Moving on. I've made mistakes in life. I got 2X. So trust me, it's a phase of life. But when you get better at it, that's what you can avoid. Moving on. God's name, watch this. God's name remains hidden, but yet we call him by Amen. So is the name really hidden? Get the concept? I'm trying to roll with this one. It is a what? Mystery. Mystery means something that you don't know, and that's fine. To his children, men, women, and guess what? Gods alike. God's name are immutable, manifold, and no one knows their number. Why? I'll be called by a myriad of names. He perceived and conceived that he's all conscious, he's all knowing. Come on, don't 1 minute give God all and then shrink him like he don't know. So you can't have it both ways. He's all the time, all knowing, all that. So don't forget that concept, and you won't shrink God into making him human. He ain't human. We human. What's inside us is eternal, is spiritual, and infinite. So, sorry about that. It calm down. I'm excited. All right. Through God can be seen with it. Though God can be seen, what? In form of what? If you observe, observation of God can be made. Here you go, at God's appearance. How do we know what he look like? God cannot be understood. God cannot be seen with what? Mortal eyes. But guess what? The third eye sees God. I know what God look like. Why? My third eye is open. I'm a spiritual being. I see inside. I know who he is. I know me. You would too if you follow along and get the concept and put it into use. You have to live it, learning it, hearing about it. Oh, that's cool. But you got to employ it. That's the difference. And guess what? With mortal eyes, you'll never see God. Why? You have to open the spiritual eye. That's why I try to get you to do that for yourself. God is invisible and inscrutable to gods as well as men. That means even the aspects of God don't know God. Okay? That's what makes him God. Portions from the Egyptian book are coming forth by day, and the papyrus of Nisi Kinsu. That's the princess at the time. Okay. Next one is the statement above we just talked about gives the understanding that God is unfathomable mystery behind all phenomena which cannot be discerned. I mean, you can't figure it out. Just understand it, even by the gods. However, God is what? Uninfathomable mystery as well as the what? Your innermost essence. Again, there you go, of his children. He called us his children. We call him Pop because he protects it. God, that's what fathers do. That's the male figure. That's why we put him in the male aspect. We deal with Mother Nature, the giver, the supplier. It's the female aspect. So he's not alone in that aspect. Understand that. That watch this. But this means that what? God is transcendental and unmanifest, but also what is manifest as well. He is what's the noon, potential, nothing, but everything can come out of there. He came out first and brought everything out behind him. Hence, everything is on the one. Got you. Let's go. This means that, okay, wait, but transcendental, unmanifested, and manifested well. That means he's here when ain't nothing here before time and space. That's the other realm. We call that mental, the dua, but another world, whatever. But they had a concept, trust me. In order to write this, to perceive this reality, it is necessary to what? Transcend ordinary human vision. I just told you, these mortal eyes can't see spiritually. The third eye is the spiritual eye. It was called the first eye in the beginning. So understand that. When this transcendental self is spoken about through what? Different names and metaphors, we talk about the higher self. The idea often emerges that there are many faces to the ultimate divinity, God, or supreme being, again, God. Because they didn't have a word for God, they used supreme being. That's why you see supreme being tacked on with God or the one, okay? But I prefer supreme being also, or higher self. Nevertheless, watch this. As has been previously discussed, it must be clear that all Nazarene spiritual traditions are in reality what? Referring to the same supreme being. No matter what religion you practice, no matter what God you call it, it's the only one, the transcendental reality. Now I'm going to move down and get to a quick phrase and go to the next page. I'm trying to move it on. Ooh, I got to move it on. Hope this is getting across to you, but this is good stuff for me in my head. The following passages come from the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, chapter CLXXIII. Ain't gonna try to figure that one out. Moving on. I don't do the Roman. I hate the Roman nonsense. So that's their stuff. All right, here we go. The phrase, excuse me, I praise thee, Lord of gods, God one living in truth. Don't the Christians say we got the true living God, all that, yeah. This is the where it comes from. I'm just trying to give you information. Remember, I just give the message. It's up to you to get it, understand it. What you like, take. What you don't worry about it. Okay. Next one. The following passage is taken from the hymn which Princess Lisa Kinsu glorifies Amen Ra this way. She says, the august soul, okay, which came into being when in prime evil time. That means way back. The great God living in what? Truth. If it ain't truth, don't worry about it. Why? It ain't gonna last. Truth is eternal, just like God. The first 9 gods, well, here you go. The first 9 gods gave birth to the other 2 9 gods. The being in whom every God exists. They knew then that God is in us. One, the creator of the kings who appeared. Watch this. When the earth took form, where? In the beginning. Sound familiar? But if you wrote a book 2,500 years ago, that ain't the beginning. But they were stating in the beginning from what a perspective that they got from earlier people, which is Egyptians, whose birth, watch this, in the beginning, whose birth is hidden, whose forms are manifold, whose germination cannot be known. That's us. Right now, the number is at 8 billion. I say if it's 8 billion people on earth, you got 8 billion ways to get to God. Every individual has the same right to get to God. So no discrimination, none of that racism, none of that. Everybody. Moving on. Let's determine right quick the term Nedarism. Okay. That's a follower of She-Taught Netta. Instead of me being a Netarian, which I am at heart, but I'm a right thinker. I changed She-Taught Netta to right thinking philosophy. I follow their concepts and their views, not 100%. That's why I'm not calling it what they call it, because it's not all theirs. Like this, I call my spiritual gumbo. Well, I got a little other stuff mixed in, but it's from the commission concept, and She-Taught Netta is the foundation. So understand it's a mouthful, but that's the concept. So when you hear me, instead of saying when it should be She-Taught Netta, you're going to hear right thinking philosophy. And it means the same thing. They're interchangeable. Okay, let's go. The term Netarianism is derived from the name She-Taught Netta. What is Netarianism? The term Netarianism is derived from the term She-Taught Netta. Those who follow, here you go, the spiritual path of She-Taught Netta are referred to as Netarians. Those who follow right thinking philosophy are called right thinkers. You get me with this? So cool. Now, when referring to the religion of ancient Egypt itself, the term Netarianism will be used. The term would be substituted for what? Or will be used interchangeable with the term ancient Egyptian religion or Commission religion or spirituality. That's what everybody tagged it with. All these are referring, watch this, to the same thing, Netarianism, the She-Taught Netta, or AKA right thinking philosophy of ancient Egyptian religion or the Commission religion concept. The following Those who follow the spiritual path of She-Taught Netta or right thinking philosophy are therefore referred to Netarians or right thinkers. Either one is fine because we are both conceptually. Okay. Netarian is what? Watch this. Is science of Netta. Means they study about Netta, which is God. That is the study of the secret or mystery of Netta, the enigma of that which transcends ordinary consciousness, but from which all creation arises. The world did not come from nothing. Again, the noon was potential, total. Like we potentially could be anything. So it didn't start from nothing, nor is it sustained by what nothing. The force is something. And when used and mastered, watch this. Rather, it is a manifestation of what? That which is beyond time and space, which was written before we got into time and space. God still existed. The concept of spirit was there, but which at the same time permeates and maintains what? The fundamental elements. I'll tell you the creation story. We start out with the noon. Everything comes out of there. In other words, it is the substratum of creation and the essential nature of all that exists. Before man was even in the game, we had to put things in place. That's being conscious. That's being all-knowing. Now, moving on. The etymology of the term Shita Netta. Here we have the term Shita or Shita, meaning hidden, difficult to understand, meaning you had to be studied, you had to be taught, hard to get through, a mystery. The term Shita Kepharu means hidden, creator of forms. Shitatu means writings related to the hidden teachings. Shita means the land covered by the Nile River. When the Nile water is overflowing, the land is what? Covered. So it means covered or shrouded. See where we're going with this? Shita means the secret, hidden divinity. Shita, Aset, means the divinity in the hidden abode or throne. Aset means abode or throne. Shita means hidden secret being, aka God, the divine, the essential nature. This is the etymology of the term Shita Netta. So hope you understand that. Break it down for you. Now we're going to talk about it right quick. I got to get into this thing and get done. The Great Awakening in the purpose and concept of right thinking philosophy, aka Shita Netta. Let's go. What is the purpose of Netarianism or right thinking philosophy? What is the purpose of all the disciplines of the Netarian spirituality? Why? You follow them, you govern yourself accordingly, things will happen. That's why. The end of all right thinking philosophy disciplines is what? The end all is to what? Discover the meaning of who am I. To unravel, the mysteries of life and the phantom, the depths of what? Eternity and infinity. This is the task of what? Watch this. All human beings, and it is to be accomplished when? In your own lifetime. Meaning, if you don't get it right, guess what? You gone, but your spirit got to go get reincarnated. That's the concept. I got to move on a little faster now. I got to get through this. I got another whole page to go through. This can be done, watch this, by learning what? The rays of the Neteru. Neter, single God, Neteru, plural, many other gods, which in emulating them and finally what? Becoming like them. I told you, every aspect, Asar, Aset, Nephthys, all those guys are aspects of you as a person, your character. You learn them, you understand them, you emulate and master them, then you become God-like in this lifetime. That's the concept. Watch this. I'm going to show you. Emulating and becoming what? Like them. Aku, aka you. That means to enlighten being. I'm an Aku. I'm an enlightened being teaching others how to become enlightened, aka sage, saint, guru. Is the teacher, preceptor, master of self who get others to master themselves. Watch this. By walking the earth. Aku, enlightened being, walking the earth as what? As giants and accomplishing what? Great deeds. Not things, deeds, such as what? The creation of the universe. God didn't just do a bunch, no, he a great deed. Watch this. The Kemetic word nihas, that's my favorite. It means attaining the sublime and the highest goal of life, which is what? Becomes spiritual enlightenment, to experience the state of consciousness, awareness of oneself with the divine and all creation, which what transcends individuality, born of the ego consciousness. We're born with the ego, knowing ourselves from that aspect, lower nature. When you raise your consciousness, learn about the aspects of your personality, perfect and master them, you raise your conscious level to become one with your higher self, aka know thyself. That's the whole goal of my intent for all right thinkers, to do just that. Yeah, it might take the long way around sometimes. Sometimes I give you a shortcut, but the whole goal is to get you there for yourself. Your job is to get there. Like, watch this. We're like the ego is like the river, the perfect example. The ego consciousness is like the river. uniting with the ocean. Once you what? Raise your conscious level and discover that the greater essential nature of yourself, aka God, that state which bestows abiding blessedness, peace, my favorite word, bliss, and here's another one for you, contentment. Contentment means you're pleased with what you have. I've got a lesson come up. Do more, do best with less. Why? Because the more you got, that makes the difference. It's how good you can do with less. That's what being content means. And guess what? Content breeds fulfillment. Knowledge of self brings on freedom from all limitations and supreme empowerment for oneself. Knowledge is power. Knowing thyself makes you a giant walking the earth. Cool. You're an enlightened being. You know who you are. The Great Awakening, right quick. Nihas. There's no definition in your dictionary, the Google. It ain't gonna come up. Okay, it's our word. Since they had no definition for it, it stays our word. The ultimate goal, Great Awakening. Listen, this is important. The ultimate goal of life is Nihas. Nihas means spiritual awakening. It is the spiritual awakening that leads one to discover the glory of life beyond death. Meaning you're living here for the next life. Why? Because you are consciously aware there is another life after this one. That's why. Excuse me. Discovering immortality, eternity, and supreme peace. That's what they taught. Oh, the Egyptians was obsessed with death. No, they knew death to the body was imminent, but they knew there's an afterlife. Hence, the dua, the mentor, the other life, that realm that only God dwells in. That's where the spirit wants to go back to, the field of reeds, whatever. Okay, watch this right quick. Now, this is the covered goal of all spiritual beings, and all religions preach the same thing of the world. Why? Past or present is all the same thing. This is the goal that is to be striven for in what? In life. If you living for riches and monetary stuff, you living the wrong thing. You're going to die. Okay, unless you become spiritually enlightened and your spirit will go back to its maker, you're going to have a recycled conscious going over and over again. Trust me, the Ouroboros, you're just chasing your tail. You ain't really going nowhere. Get better. Watch this. It is the most worthy goal because of all else, again, will fade away one day. Your money, your fame, all that will fade away. All else is what? Perishable, fleeting, and illusionary. And this is what is called, why it's called what? The Great Awakening. Nihas, the awakening of spiritual consciousness, knowing, not believing, knowing and understanding as one, you know who you are. Watch this. In the upper left-hand corner, they got a picture here. On the left side, you see a Sar awakening from the tomb, being assisted by the four sons of Haru. Another lesson. Okay, good lesson there too. But they kept the internal parts, the liver, the stomach, intestines, and the lung. Each one of them protected each part of Osiris, and it stays with him. That's not the concept, but quick lesson with that. But yeah, the four sons of Osiris was the Coptic jar that they kept the internal parts in Osiris. And they had different heads too. One's a baboon, one's a man, one is a jackal head, and one is the falcon. Good lesson. Got it coming up for you. All right, there you go. Put that in the house. These four sons are also the first they call Shimsus. Okay, the Shimsu Haru. Those are followers of Haru, and who they follow? Asar, his father. They are the ones who what? Follow Asar, and they help to what? Resurrect him. Nihas means to wake up, to awaken to a higher existence. We have another level of excellence within us. We have to reach it, aka wake up. I've done it. I'm trying to help everybody I could do the same thing. I see a bunch of people doing the same thing. We all on the same team, trying to help you become your best self. I don't have no competition, no hatred toward nobody who trying to do what it is I'm doing. I'm just in the mix. Thank you. I'm in the ring. I'm in the game now. The question is how to attain, watch this lofty goal of Nihas, become a right thinker. Trust me. Just because all religions, watch this, are striving for that does not mean, here's what I got a problem with, they are what? Engaging the correct methods to what? Achieve that goal. If you have a preacher that's ignorant of the truth and he's just preaching dogma, you're never going to reach your personal bliss and reach the level where you want to go if you're listening to him. So sometimes it's best to out on your own, okay? But it's self-made. Make yourself a spiritual being. You can do that. You need help. I'll help you with that. Watch this. Let me wrap this up. They may have the dogma, again, that's the idea, but that does not mean that they have the how. That is the problem. One cannot attain resurrection, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening just by believing or just by faith. Faith must be followed by what? Action, living in accordance with the teaching. That's what I do. That's what I teach. That's what I try to show you. If you do that, it will happen. That's how it's done. Last one. That leads to growing understanding of the final experience of what? The divine. I call it the mystical experience. Christians, you get the story, practice the ritual, but you don't get the mystical experience. Why? Because you ain't true and sincere to what you're doing. That's how it works. Watch this. The end of all lettering and right thinking philosophy disciplines is to what? Discover the meaning of who I am, or who am I, excuse me, to unravel the mysteries, to fathom the depths of eternity. And this is about becoming aku. Again, the term which is Netarian theology that means an enlightened being. I want my right thinkers to become all aku, meaning enlightened beings. Aku is a person who has achieved nihas, who has achieved awakening, the great enlightenment. That's what right thinker teaches. That's what right thinker followers should appease to reach that level of enlightenment. Nihas is our word. Right thinkers, get your nihas on. I'll be back.